Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Somebody asked a question, in fact I think two people asked comparison questions when I was doing my video about the Victoria Beckham for Estee Lauder collection, and specifically talking about the Modern Mercury highlighter, which if you've watched those videos you'll know I am very keen on indeed. I really like it. And somebody asked how it compared with Guerlain's Summer in the City, and either that person or somebody else also asked about the comparison with Tom Ford, which is this one over here, Moodlight. And also, I think somebody else asked me to do a comparison with my Guerlain highlighters. So I thought that was a really good idea, and it's taken me a while to do it. But I thought we'd look at a few of my favourite highlighters today, hoping the light's going to be good enough to do some swatches. And I've taken my watch and bracelet off, so I've got plenty of skin room. I love highlighters, and I'm quite a fan of a not that subtle highlight, so I do like to have a good glow on occasions, particularly in the evening. Alternatively, I do sometimes use highlight powders with a soft brush, much more sparingly, over my whole face, to give, a bit more kind of luminosity to my old skin. I particularly like this Dior. It's actually a highlighter, Glowing Gardens illuminating powder, but I definitely use it as a finishing powder. So I thought that's what I do today, just talk about some of my favourite highlighters and compare them from a fairly extensive highlighter collection. But you need to bear in mind that I'm not Miss Subtle. I do like them, pretty well pigmented and glowy. So that's my preference. Now, here's the one that provoked the questions again. The Modern Mercury, a re-promote of an old Estee Lauder product that was very popular. It's the kind of jelly to powder formula. I'd call that a kind of mid gold to rose gold. It's a very well pigmented powder. There you go. I mean, at that kind of level, you could use it as an eyeshadow. Even I would probably not cake it on as a highlighter like that. And I found it's most effective on my cheekbones using a fan brush rather than a more densely fibred brush, just to spread it out. But it lasts really, really well. Really, really pretty. Now, I was asked about comparing that one with this Guerlain Terracotta Golden Glimmer powder, it was called, Sun in the City. This is a few years back, I'm going to say 2013, something like that. I think they've re-promoted it from time to time. And although I kind of bring it out mainly in the summer, I also use it for Christmas parties when I want a kind of fairly full-on gold look. How beautiful is that in the palette? And I have used it a lot. This is softer, more powdery, and you can see in comparison it's a really gold, yellow gold highlighter powder. Again, very pigmented. Because it's even warmer than this one, I do have to use it sparingly. But it, is the occasional favourite, definitely for a party look. And again, pretty with a fan brush. So that was one of the comparisons I was asked to make. And also the Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Duo from last year in Moodlight. Again, a jelly to powder formula, which is a bit unusual for Tom Ford. You've got two highlighters here. There's the one that's kind of most alike. Definitely paler and more kind of bronzy gold, but not that dissimilar to the Modern Mercury, particularly when you're kind of swatching it heavily like that. I don't think I've used this with a fan brush. I haven't used it that much recently. There's something about the rose that I slightly prefer to Moodlight. And of course, Moodlight has also the white one in there, which I don't find is as nice a formula. I don't use it all that much. But these two are definitely similar. So you might say that if you've got Moodlight, you may not want to bother with Modern Mercury, although I think it's such a beautiful rosy gold that I'd still be inclined. Just comparing another white illuminator, because I had this out the other day. This was Camellia de Plume, last year's holiday collection from Chanel. One of the most beautiful looking highlighters that one can barely bear to dig into. Again, I don't wear this a lot because it's very pale, silvery. Much better pigment than the white one in the Tom Ford Moodlight. But you can see they look pretty similar on. Much more pigmented. I wore this the other evening because I wanted a kind of cool highlight over the look I was doing for an evening out, and it was really pretty. I don't think you can get that one anymore, so I'm a bit cruel showing it to you. Earlier this year, Dior's Glowing Gardens, I gave this rave reviews and I like it a lot. This is a kind of mid between the whitish silver ones and the gold ones. It's got a definite pinky tinge. Just really, really pretty. Much more powdery than jelly. Again, absolutely gorgeous in the pan. And I've used this quite a lot and it still looks nice. I do use it mainly as a finishing powder rather than a straight highlighter. And I like it a lot. Not sure if that's available. It was the spring collection. You'll definitely get it on some remainder websites. I should compare all of these with two of my all-time favourite highlighters that I kind of keep for special occasions, two Guerlains. This one's a very famous one, Cruel Gardenia, that I'm afraid you're going to have to pay mega bucks on eBay to get your hands on. But it's a stunning illuminating face powder. Very pretty in the box, still smooth, and I've had this since about 2012, and it's just the perfect mid-tone. It's rose, it's pink, it's so pretty on fair skins. Just my favourite all-time highlighter, I think. I mean, let's compare that there with that's Modern Mercury, much, much darker rose. This for fair girls, just really, really pretty highlighter, really, really iridescent, and it lasts really, really well. And then a few years later, they came out with Poudre de Soie. I mean, these are marketed as face powders rather than highlighters, and you definitely can use them as that. This is kind of nearer to that Dior one. Very, very similar to Cruel Gardenia. A tad more goldeny, I think. You might be able to get this on remainder sites like Izzy's. There you can see the two together. They're very, very similar. So, you know, either of those, I think, are absolutely classics for highlighter fiends and collectors. And if you see them at a good price on eBay, get your hands, because those are both a few years old and they're still in beautiful condition. Very, very wearable, especially for the fair girls. I did pull out Tom Ford's Super Sheer Cheek Duo by Coastal, because this was a jelly to powder formula as well. I'm not so sure that I love this as much as I thought I did. Hand's getting a bit mucky here. Obviously the pink is not what we're talking about, but the kind of peachy works more as a highlighter for me. Less kind of metallic than those other ones, but more kind of pearlized. So if you like a kind of pearlized, slightly more subtle highlighting look, rather than the definitely metallic to glittery of the others, then Bi-Coastal, which is still available in some stores and definitely fairly easy to get on eBay, might be your baby. It's coming off less pink in the monitor than it is in real life. Just looking there, I don't know if you can see, I can see, but it's not brilliant on the monitor. These kind of newer ones are definitely more glittery than the kind of more metallic pearl sheen of the two Guerlain specials. So I hope that helps. I do love them all. I think apart from possibly Bi-Coastal, which isn't a huge favourite now of mine, I wouldn't let any of these go. And I will say in passing that Kevin Aucoin makes nice highlighters too that are in his kind of permanent collection. If you are a highlighter aficionado, or just these beautiful illuminating powders. So I still maintain that Modern Mercury is a good one to get as it's out at the moment if you like those rose golds, although definitely if you have Moodlight from last year's Tom Ford, then you may not need it. And all-time favourites, one or other of the Poudre de Soie or Cruel Gardenia from Guerlain, not now available generally, but if you see them on eBay, they are beauties. So, interesting one to be asked to do. Thanks for the suggestion, and I hope that was helpful to you. Until next time, bye for now.